Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another tutorial video with Stromne. Technically not a redstone, but we're going to be making a super easy iron farm. Right here is the base version of my design for an iron farm that is the absolute minimal. We have a spawning space for golems where they get pushed into lava and a magma block, giving them damage. Once they die, their iron falls down here into this hopper along with their poppies and ends up in the chest. This is the model that I've been using on SMPs a lot lately. It's simple, it's easy to do. You just need to find yourself a nice flat area, or you could build it even taller than I've got it here. For example, here, this one is running over here. This one has been running the longest. You can see this has been running for about, I would say, an hour or so, maybe a little less, and we got quite a bit of iron. But this is what I provided for the schematic that's going to be in the description of the video, as well as what we're going to do for the tutorial for how to actually get this set up and running. This is very simple. This requires no redstone whatsoever. There's not a single bit of redstone in this, and it just gets you iron. Now the reason it's so high up is because we don't want those golems spawning out, so that's why I said you want a nice flat area. If you really didn't have a flat area, you could in fact just build this higher up in the air, or you could take this floating version right here. As we see on the inside here, this is off the basic premise of you have 3 villagers that are working and sleeping, so they think, and then a zombie that occasionally scares them and gets them to then create an iron golem up here on this platform. The reason they're not creating it down here, and this would even work if this was grass down here, is because those villagers are too far away from that ground level to actually spawn a golem there. So it looks for the next spot it can spawn it, which is up here on top of this. So if you do build this floating version or that version and you have it around some things, you just need to make sure it is outside of the spawning radius of the golem, which is 16 by 6 by 16. This world will be in the download description that you can actually come in here and take a look at these yourselves. There will also be schematics there if you use Masses like Matica mod. Otherwise, right here in this chest is everything you're going to need in order to make this farm. For the purposes of the tutorial, I am just going to start out by using the spawn eggs, but we need a zombie that has been named, so you'll need a name tag with a zombie. Otherwise, you can also use a zombie that will pick up items so he doesn't despawn. Just needs to be a zombie that's not going to despawn, so he either needs to hold an item that he's picked up off the ground or be named. You also need 3 villagers. These villagers need to be unemployed, so you can't use a villager that you've previously traded with. They need to use that workstation inside the iron farm in order to be able to produce the iron. We have some torches here to light things up, glass for certain parts of the tubing, and unspawnables. These stacks right here, these could really be any building block. I'm just using stone bricks in this example. Same thing here, could be any type of slab. I'm using slab stone bricks. Again, walls, this is not needed if you're doing the minimalist version, the floating version. I just kind of like to give it a little bit of structure. I think it looks better. Then we have our 3 job sites. I prefer the composter. It's nice and easy to craft. Technically, any job site would work as long as it's not a transparent one. So you wouldn't want to use, for example, like a stone cutter, because there's still a chance that skeletons or raiders could spot those villagers and kill them through that slot. You need your 8 chests, your 4 hoppers. This could be expanded or reduced. This is just for the item collection, depending on how much iron you're expecting to get. We have our 3 beds for the villagers, any color beds, whatever. We have 2 water sources and 1 lava source. And then we also have the warp sign and warp fence gates. It's very important that these are actually either warped or crimson. They need to be one of the types of wood that don't burn, because we're going to use them around the lava. We don't want that to burn up. And then a fence gate and a pressure plate. This could be any type. We're just going to use that to get the zombie in, and I'll show you that in a bit. And then the magma block is also optional. I've added that because I believe it does help kill the golems a little faster. And the faster you can kill the golems, the faster the villagers are going to be able to respawn a new golem. I'm going to build this over here away from the other farms. If you do build multiple of these, again, remember that you want to have them separated out from each other, because if they are next to each other, the villagers are going to think that the golem that was spawned previously in the other farm was meant for them as well, and then they won't produce their own golem. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to build this 8 off the ground. Okay, so I'm going to start out with my poles that I have over there. So let's do it in 3 shape there, a little L shape. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going building blocks on top. And then I'm going to move over 3. So 1, 2, 3, do the next L. The next L shape only needs to go 2 over. 1, 2, boom, boom. And then we match up the corners over here. I'm also going to connect up these walls together so that it looks like connected. Again, this is just nothing more than visuals, but I kind of like it. It looks like it's joined a little bit better, a little bit more structurally integrated. Now we're going to finish off our platform. We'll get these corners connected up. And on one side over here, what we want to do is we want to create a hallway for the zombie to walk on. I find they walk a little bit better when they have full blocks rather than slabs. So I'm going to use some glass here, and I'm using glass because nothing can spawn on the glass. So once we bring a zombie in here, we don't have to worry about something else spawning in here as well. Then I'm going to switch over to my slabs and do bottom slabs, because again, nothing can spawn on bottom slabs. However, when I get to this layer, I am going to do 2 pieces of glass in the middle. And then the rest I'm going to finish off with slabs. This gives the villagers a little something to walk on that's not half slabs. And again, I find it helps them path better when they have full blocks to walk on. You could do this with just the half slabs on the bottom here and it would work, but this is just the way I prefer to do it. Next thing is we want to make sure that our zombie can't get over to our villagers. So on the sides of the hallway, we're going to build this wall structure. So it's 4 across and then 1 on each tip. The reason we have the 1 on the tips is because as the zombie wants to get over to one of the villagers that's over here, he's going to stand back here and hide his eyesight from the villagers. They're going to get a break from him, but then he'll walk back out and scare them again. The villagers will spawn golems faster if they get a break from their panic. If they're in a constant state of panic, they're going to be producing less golems. So until we have that golem trapped in, I also just want to add in a couple of building blocks here. That's so that when we get the zombie in there, we don't risk spawning any golems before we're ready with our spawning platform. So now we just want to build some walls around here. However, along this back wall is where I'm going to take my composters. I'm going to put those in so the villagers can reach those and work. And you may be saying right now, well, they can't actually reach them because there's a 1.5 blocks down there. But we're also going to put in our beds. So we're going to put 1 bed there, 1 bed there, and 1 bed there. So see, again, these glass blocks kind of give them a pathway up, and then they can stand on the bed and actually reach their job site. Also a good idea to take some torches and toss them in there just in case you place down a block incorrectly or you'd like to see inside of there. Now we're going to finish this off with a roof, and this is just going to be solid building blocks across the entire top section. And there we go. This is now all spawnable up here. So the other thing we want to do is also make sure that we can get our zombie in and get our villagers in. So that's where that pressure plate and gate come in. So I'm going to give this a 2 high gap so something can walk in here. I'm going to put a building block down there. I'm going to take my pressure plate and my gate. I'll put the pressure plate there and the gate there. That's so that a mob can walk in, but a mob can't walk out. So when we're chasing our zombie down, normally, you may have elytra, or you may use a trapdoor to go in a crawl mode, or you can kind of run through and just real quick place a block down there to trap him. But one way or another, you're going to get a zombie to follow you up the stairs. He can then activate this gate to get in. He'll fly you in. As soon as he's in that gate, you can just close that up. You can use elytra to fly through that hole. You can use a trapdoor to crawl out that hole. Whatever you want to do, but just get that zombie trapped in there. And I'm going to demonstrate that now. I'll do it without elytra, just so you can see that. Come and get me, buddy. And there we go. Now he's trapped in there. Once you come back to the other side, once he's trapped, you definitely want to get rid of that pressure plate. You no longer need that. You don't want to accidentally let him out as you step up here. If he's already holding an item, he's already set. He won't despawn. However, well, let's see. Will this guy hold an item? Doesn't look like it. So we'll hit him with the name tag and boom. Now he won't despawn. Now we can seal that up. That zombie's in there. And then we can use this same staircase to then get our villagers in. So we'll open up a side here. This is why we have those building blocks in here, because if the villagers came up here, saw the zombie, they would immediately just run off and then they would be lost. But with that vision of the zombie blocked, they will happily walk in here, grab their job sites, grab their beds, and this is especially good at night, because I'll show you if we just spawn 3 villagers right now, they're just automatically going to want to go into those beds. And then we can seal them up in there. Now, this part is also very important. What we want to do now is get rid of this staircase, because a golem can spawn on here. What I like to do is then take some more of those slabs and just put those down here as a little platform in case I want to come up here and check on the zombie or check on the villagers, something like that, and then just get rid of the rest of the stairs. You could either ladder up to that platform, you could elytra up to that platform, whatever you want to do there. Now we need to finish off the golem killing portion of this. So right now we still have those blocks in the way, so the villagers don't see the zombie, so they're not going to be spawning any golems. But when we do and they spawn golems, we want to be able to kill those golems quite quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a wall around the edge on one of the longer sides and both of the shorter sides. We're going to go up by 1. We're going to put some blocks here. We're going to leave the center one open. And then we're going to put walls going across. This could also be slabs. It could be pressure plates, whatever you need to do to make that unspawnable. But we actually do want a block right here to stop the lava. Next thing we want to do is place down our water. So what we want to do is we want to have all the water flowing down to this central location where the golems are going to get killed. So we'll put 1 in that corner and 1 in that corner. And now we can see that all the water is flowing to point everything to this central spot right here. We as the player can fit through it, but the golem is too tall. He would get caught on this right here. He would actually be too wide to even fit through there as well, so he'd get cut there as well. The reason that we do this now, what I'm about to do, is water can stop the zombie from burning, but glass can't. So I'm actually going to replace some of this with glass. A magma block here and glass here. So without that water above it, if the zombie was standing under this glass, he would start burning and then he would die. So that's why I didn't start out with this. You could also build this entire thing and then put the mobs in. Either way is up to you. But this is how that platform is going to look. Up against the walls, you want that glass with that magma block and the glass there. This glass prevents a golem from spawning with part of his hitbox inside the wall and then stops him from glitching into that wall, because we want to make sure that he actually moves over to where this lava is going to be. Next part is going to be set up the collection system. So we're going to put some blocks here in this shape, and then I'm going to put down a sign to stop the water. If we didn't stop the water, then the iron that flowed through here would just float in that water and not make it down to the hoppers. And this is the point at which you could kind of do any other model that you like, however you want to have this fall down. I just like to have it down here, nice and tidy at the bottom in this nice staircase chest formation, so it's easy to access everything. So right in where we had that break in the fences, I put that glass and built the staircase off of that, and then hoppers going into each one of those chests, and a hopper coming out the back of there. So now iron will come out here, fall into the hopper. We do want to actually add in a path of blocks going down to that hopper, just to ensure that the random direction momentum of these items and the momentum it's getting from the water doesn't make it shoot past the hopper. So now anything that goes inside this system has to go in the hopper. Again, we need to spawn proof it, so slab, slab, slab. That means nothing can spawn on there. So now as the iron falls out, it'll fall in there. One of the final steps here is to actually get the lava in. So 3 blocks up, we want to place on each side an open fence gate. And again, these are warped so they don't burn. And then we're just going to use a temporary block, put down a fence gate right here. We can get rid of that block and open that. And then also right underneath here, we also need a open fence gate. So now we have a pocket, and we'll remove that, where the lava can go into, but it will be completely accessible because any mobs can move freely through this, including the golems. However you do it, you want to make sure that you're holding shift while you do this. Otherwise, with the lava bug in your hand, you're just going to be sitting there opening and closing a fence gate. So hold shift, press it against there, and now we have 1 floating lava block. And we are almost done. All we need to do now is to actually activate the system. So I'm going to open up this side, and once I get rid of these 2 temporary blocks that we left in there, close this back up. That zombie is going to see the villagers, scare them, and they're going to start making golems. His items are going to fall through this water path and down into the hopper. There we go. Up and running. And there we go. That is my quick and easy iron golem farm design. Again, look down in the description. There will be a world save file where you can download this exact world that you see here, as well as schematics, one for the fancy, quote-unquote fancy, and one for the minimalist version. This will get you a ton of iron. It will work away. It's not the mega iron farm, but for early game, mid game, and even a little bit in late game, as long as this is running in the background somewhere near your base, this is going to get you a ton of iron to do whatever you need to. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. If you have any comments, suggestions, things you'd like to see, questions, by all means, put those down in the comments, or check me out on Twitch or on Discord, and I will see you later. Bye.